Good to go.
Good evening, everyone. This is Melissa Enger, for those of you that don't already know my voice by now. Welcome to the 2016 Summer Games Aquatics pre-competition webinar. I know it's a little late, so we'll try to get through this as quickly as possible, as well as still answering all questions that you guys have. If you haven't done so already, you can please mute your phones. If you just press *6, that will mute your phones for us. That way we don't get any of the background noise. The event guide will be passed out via email, I believe, by the end of this week. So please look out for this. This has all information that you'll need for Summer Games as a whole. There is the address for Loyola Blakefield in there as well. So please be sure to review this event guide before Summer Games. This is just the map that we've used that shows Towson. Obviously, Loyola Blakefield is not on this, but some key things to look for if you're staying on campus. There are the dorms, which is Glen Towers D, or Towson Run Apartments and Tubman House. Those are all the locations where you may be staying if you are an overnight guest or overnight delegation. Another place to look for is the Towson Center and CQ Arena, as well as Lot 20. And that's where opening ceremonies will be, the block party, and everything like that you will need to see Friday or the whole weekend.
Melissa, actually, before if you can go back to that, just one thing to point out, the pickup point for off-campus buses, it's at the end of the Union Garage. If you look at just below where it says Aquatics Loyola Blakefield, there's a spot there. There's a little turnaround at the end of that parking garage, which is where, for both aquatics and softball pickup, the buses will be picking up.
But we can park at Loyola, right?
Oh, yeah, you definitely can park at Loyola.
Yeah.
But we will certainly be providing shuttle service from Towson to Loyola.
Okay.
The bus, you can park at Towson or Loyola. The bus is for the people that are staying overnight. If you are a day of delegation, there's plenty of parking at Loyola. The transportation, kind of just what we went over. This is more for the on-campus site, but it's good for everyone to see as well. So some more information about transportation. If you look at the bottom, for aquatics, parking will be in the parking lot at Loyola Blakefield, across the field from Knott Hall, which is where the pool is. There is a road that leads right to the entrance of the pool. We ask that you do not park there. That way the buses can get in there and turn around without having any issues. There's a huge parking lot where you are able to park, but please do not park in that loop.
And actually, Melissa, that what George is requesting, George Hergenhan, who handles the transportation, is to not park on any of the roads on campus, not just that road there. Actually, the buses won't be able to go down right to the front. People will walk down there. But he's very concerned that a car or two is going to block buses being able to get through the campus. So just please tell all your folks, use the parking lot. It's large. It can handle well more than the cars that we'll be bringing.
Well, we can drop off at the aquatic center, and then the bus that brings us up can go and park, right?
You won't be able to pull down to the front of the aquatic center, but you can drop off at the top of the road, and they can walk down from there.
Okay, because we have one person in a wheelchair.
Yeah, if you were over at UMBC a couple years ago. It's about the same distance from where the buses drop those folks off as well. It's not very far.
Okay.
This is just the master schedule for Friday for all of summer games. It says when the block party is, dinner, the cheerleading competition, if you're interested in going to that, as well as opening ceremonies and the torch lighting. This is just good to know and just to be aware. Again, this is just Saturday schedule. Competition will be approximately 8 to 5 over at Loyola Blakefield. And the dance in Olympic Park, which is big for the athletes, will start at 6 p.m. over at the Towson Center. So that's always a fun thing for the athletes to get to do. I know they always look forward to it. And Sunday, same thing. We'll start about 8 o'clock. So please make sure everyone is there on time and ready to go. We are going to try to get things going and try to stay on schedule as much as we can.
So what time so you would like to have us there by, we're planning on being there around 7 to 7:15. Is that all right?
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably be there way earlier than most people, but that should be fine.
Okay, because we're leaving at 5:30 in the morning from here in Chestertown.
Yeah, that should be fine, Jack.
Okay.
This is a map for Loyola Blakefield. If you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, there's Towson University. It's very, very close to Loyola Blakefield. North Charles is right off 695, so if you come down 695 to North Charles, the school will be on your left, right past, there's a bunch of schools on your right, like an elementary school and a middle school, I believe, and Loyola Blakefield will be on your left. These pictures were shown previously at the preseason competition. I just wanted to make sure I wanted to put them in so that everyone got a chance to see them again. There is plenty of room on the deck for our volunteers. As always, coaches are not allowed on the deck. In the gymnasium, we're going to have in the gym we're going to have the staging, pre-staging, and awards. Neil, are you on the call?
I am.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the setup of how we're going to have things set up in the gym?
Yes. So the athletes will exit the pool in the back area behind the blocks and make a very quick walk into the gym area. If you're facing the gym from the pool side, the space on the left along the back wall is where we're going to have the awards set up, and the space at the far right end is where we're going to have our pre-staging, and then the staging will be just outside of that space. And everything in the middle is going to be, our families and delegation space. And it's kind of very similar to how we had things set up when we were at UMBC. And one of the things that we liked about that is everyone's in the middle of everything. And, it gives a very nice audience to the awards, and everyone also is present for the pre-staging as well. So it's a very nice space, a lot of space for us, and we're going to use it well.
This is Karen Sparza for Harper County. I have a question about the gym space.
We're going to hold all questions till the end, if that's okay. Then we'll answer them all when the areas are being called. But we'll be sure to get your question answered. A little FYI on the gym, we will have things blocked off. Please do not move any of our stanchions or ropes or anything like that to make more room for your delegation. There's plenty of room, so please just don't move anything that is not yours so that we can have things how we need to have them. There is also a little bit of room up on the tracks.
We won't be using that.
Oh, we're not using that? I'm sorry.
We decided that. The other thing also, Neil, did you want to talk about chairs? If not,
Yeah,
I'll take care of that.
No, go cover that, Mike, please.
Okay. One significant change. You will not be able to bring your own lawn chairs, deck chairs, whatever. We will have a couple hundred or more extra chairs there. The one thing, they're being very generous in letting us use the space. They are very protective of their floors. They won't be covering the entire floor. They'll be covering just portions of it. And so they're asking that only use chairs that either they provide or we've rented that have we're certain have the plastic covers on the bottom to prevent any damage to the floors. So that is a significant change. I know from how things have operated before, but no chairs, no lawn chairs, no deck chairs, no camping chairs, whatever you want to call them. We'll have, like I say, several hundred additional chairs available for your delegations to use in the gym space. Please share that with your folks so they don't haul them from the car and then have to haul them back.
Thanks, Mike. The aquatic schedule for Saturday, same thing as previous slides. No real change there. Here is the order of events. It's the same as that was given out during the preseason competition. Neil, do you want to talk a little bit about these?
The order of events, I mean, we modified them based upon some feedback that we received from last year. We reviewed them both within the committee and with several coaches. You know, the challenge that we face every year is there's no perfect schedule, there's no perfect order of events that we can come up with. And this was our attempt to kind of address some of the things that we've seen, improvements in training, improvements in performance over time, and kind of moving things around to better address staging challenges and awards challenges, et cetera. So this is the order of events that we are following. We feel that we shared that out hopefully early enough so that you as coaches are aware of the schedule and can train and have athletes training accordingly so that, you know, we're not in back-to-back events. The one thing that we will try to do our best is we will try to identify those athletes who are in back-to-back events and like I said, and to do our best to put them at the beginning groups of the first event and at the last divisions of the second event. But, you know, even that's not a perfect science, you know, for us, but we will try.
Thanks, Neil. Just some rule reminders, obviously same as in the past. I'm not going to go through all these because you all should know them by now, and these will get divvied up. I'm sorry. These will get sent out within the next 24 to 48 hours so that you have them as well. A big one, though, is with the alternates. Please make sure that the alternates have been placed in GMS. That's a big thing. If they are not in GMS on the default team, then they're not going to be able to compete. They have to be listed in GMS previously. Same thing as the last slide. I'm not going to go through all of this, but please take time to read this once the slides are out.
The what?
Once I send out the slides.
Oh.
But, Melissa, just to clarify for folks, though, the information that's on there on flotation and the previous slide has not changed from the beginning of the season. That's all.
Correct.
Everybody should have all that information from the beginning of the season.
Correct. Thanks, Mike. We have scheduled a coaches walkthrough of Loyola Lakefield on Saturday, June 4th at 10:30. Same thing we did at ULBC 2 years ago. If you are interested or any of your coaches are interested in coming and seeing the venue ahead of time, we welcome you to come on June 4th. We'll walk around, answer any more questions you have. This gives you just a better sense of the venue for the week leading up to summer games.
Okay, it's June 4th.
At 10:30.
No, pardon?
June 4th is a Saturday right before summer games.
Well, June 4th is the competition date, right?
No, June 10th. June 10th and 11th is summer games.
June 10th.
I have a quick question for walkthroughs. I'm also a member of the Lions Club. I have a chicken barbecue on June 4th. Is there any possibility on a Friday afternoon when I arrive that I could run up to Loyola and see the venue?
Let's talk offline, and we'll figure out. I should be there setting up, so there's a possibility, but let's talk offline and get some times that you are thinking of coming.
Okay. I'm Cecil County, Steve Darty.
All right.
But the walkthrough is also at Loyola, right?
Yeah, this is only for Loyola Blakefield. So since it's a new venue, we wanted to give you the coaches and only coaches. We don't want parents and delegation members to come. This is for coaches only to come, see the venue ahead of time, ask any questions that you have once you see the venue.
Okay, and what time?
10:30.
10:30. Okay. Okay, I will definitely try to make that.
All right. Another thing to remind you of, Saturday morning, if you could have someone that is going to be helping you with staging, report to Kevin so that he knows who to look for if we're missing an athlete. We'd like one person from each delegation to come up and just meet with Kevin Saturday morning so that he can see who to reach out to if need be. Special needs of athletes, just a reminder, please put any special needs such as lane assignments, if they need to be an outside lane, anything that you need to alert us about, please put in the comments section in GMS. That way we will have it and we know ahead of time. We will not be making adjustments over the weekend if we did not know.
And hopefully people paid attention to this notation early in the season because the deadline, basically GMS is going to be locked out from the areas tomorrow morning because today is the deadline to get everything in. So again, this was shared with folks early on, and hopefully you've taken care of that with your person who does GMS for you.
Okay, I think I'm clear on that. The reason I'm asking is, my wheelchair person can get out of the pool if you don't have a lift. He can get up the ladder, but it takes like two to three people to help him do it.
We have a lift.
Okay.
We will have a lift and we will have the stairs if needed.
Okay.
But please make sure you put that in, to make sure it's in GMS so we are aware of that ahead of time.
It should be, but I'll have to check with Sharon Meyer to find out.
Okay. Thanks, Jack. Just the typical resources that we've used in the past. You will all be getting a copy of these, the time sequence report and the delegation report for each of your athletes, as well as the bid labels for each of your athletes, so that tells you what division they're in and what time to report to staging. Please use these resources to help us get things running smoothly. Same thing as we said before, pre-staging and staging will be in the front of the gym when you first walk in, and then the awards will be in the far back of the gym, which is where the athletes will come in straight from the pool. For the skills events, this is the same as in the past. Coaches will be allowed to assist with staging and moving the athletes to the pool deck. We will have a ton of volunteers, so we prefer that obviously to have the volunteers do as much as possible, so because you have more athletes than just the ones competing in skills. Coaches will not be allowed in the staging area or helping move the pool to the pool for those athletes not in skills events.
Melissa,
okay, this is a big thing. Last year we had some issues with some delegation volunteers coming onto the pool deck. That will not be allowed. That is not going to be used this year. You will get kicked off the pool deck unless it is with a skills athlete. But again, we try to keep that to a minimum.
And Melissa, can you clarify what a skills event is for folks who may not be familiar with that particular term?
Sure. The skills events, and Neil, correct me if I'm missing any, are the flotation device, the 25-meter events, anything 25 meters and below are the skills.
25 meters free and backstroke.
Yes.
So it's
everything but the 25 free and backstroke. So the flotation, the assisted, the unassisted, the 15 meters, all of that are the skills events. This year, I know we've always had concerns of the aquatics athletes missing healthy athletes. We have it worked out this year that we will have fit feet and health promotion from healthy athletes at the aquatics venue. These two will be there from 10 a.m. till about 3 p.m. on Saturday only. So please have your athletes, if they're not competing, to go take advantage of these two healthy athlete stations. Olympic Park, same as always. We started this last year with the nighttime softball game, where two of our high-functioning teams will be playing at a game. It is during the dance, so please, if your athletes want to go to that, that's great, but it is part during the dance, so just so you're aware. Mike, I don't know the theme this year. Are we aware of that yet?
I believe it's law enforcement or something like that. And then when you get to lunches, I something that just got clarified or whatever today that I want to add to it too.
Okay. With the lunches, they will be served in the cafeteria, which is just a short walk from the gym and the pool area. They are allowing us to use the gym, the cafeteria, which is great.
Yeah, it's actually,
Mike, you wanna...
yeah, cafeteria is a bit of a misleading. It's a beautiful room. It's if you like just polished wood and everything, it's gorgeous. And the walk is entirely inside. You do not have to go outside. We found out today that lunch for our off-site venues is being donated by Sheets. Sheets, the I guess convenience store group. Anyway, it'll be similar. If anybody here went to the basketball tournament, it was the same lunch setup that we had for all the locations except for Hood College there, and that is you'll get a sandwich, and then there'll also be a condiment section or a topping section where there'll be lettuce, tomatoes, I think pickles, and set on down the line, so that people can get whatever they want as they go through. It's not that there's a snack item and water and fruit and such as well, but it's there's that extra step of being able to put toppings on your sandwich. That is not the case on Towson campus, where they're just getting the straight box lunch. So it's a little different. It worked fine from what I saw, I think, at basketball, and it's a very generous donation from Sheets. So hope you enjoy it.
Thanks. From what I heard at basketball, everyone loved it. They're great sandwiches for everyone.
Quick question: Will parents be able to purchase sandwiches, or should they bring their own?
Actually, Loyola Blakefield will have a concession. I think they're doing Chick-fil-A, so available for purchase. Parents will not. We won't have enough of the the sandwiches and such from Sheets to provide that for parents. But again, Loyola Blakefield will have their folks out there selling concessions as well.
Very good, thank you.
Mike, one other question on in the staging or the area where we're assembling. Will they be allowed to have water, as bottled water or whatever there, or will there be stuff there for the athletes?
We'll definitely have water in there, and you can bring coolers and such. Just please be very careful and clean up any messes. Their big thing is they don't want any, with the whole, when I was talking about the chairs, is they just don't want anything that potentially is going to cut the floor.
Right, okay.
That's why no chairs, again.
Right.
If you don't think of anything else, no chairs.
Yeah.
Other than
We'll love it. The chairs are a pain anyway.
Okay.
Mike, George Hale, how are you handling day-of event athletes?
I don't know what you mean by that, but that's probably a question for Neil or Melissa. Can you clarify?
Well, some of the athletes aren't staying in the dorms.
Right. But I mean, the handling, I'm not sure what you mean.
As far as lunches go, do they get a meal ticket or not?
If they're competing,
Of course.
if they're part of your aquatics delegation, they absolutely do. The only thing that what they don't get is an overnight accommodation, and they don't get breakfast and dinner.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, did you want to share the video again?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Some of you may have seen this before. We shared it. If you can just bear with me while we change being presenters. This is from a bit ago. Hopefully everybody can see it. This is, I apologize for the crude nature of the video. It is, this is why I run events rather than shoot video for a living. This is the front entrance, and actually here, let me back up just a second. If you can see, this is, back up here, that drive there, I'm sorry, I should have hit pause. So the buses, if you can see where my cursor is here, the buses are going to drop folks off up here, and then it's just a walk down the drive. There won't be cars here. We'll be stopping that. Basically, the buses can't come down here. There's no way for them to turn around. But also we're saying stay off of the roads, or don't park on the roads out here on the campus as well. As this goes around, again, this is Knott Hall. This is the main entrance. Then it's going to spin around a little bit, I think, and show you the field. And there's a huge parking lot across the field, and then there's a tiered parking lot leading up into it. Those bay windows look onto the pool. It's a beautiful facility. If any, I know some of you, I know Leah, you've been there before. I'm not sure who else has for other things. It's just beautiful. So this is from the lobby. There's a two-tier lobby looking in on the pool. So this is additional spectator space, and you can see so the pool, and then right next to it, literally, is the gym. Where we're having the staging. The gym at Burdick, we had essentially two gyms or two basketball courts. Here we have, I'm sorry, 3 basketball courts for the whole operation. Here we have 4, so we have an additional space that's there. It's hard to see that quite here because they have the curtains dropped, but again, it's a huge space. It's, again, a third bigger than what we had before. The next, I think this jumps now to the upstairs lobby looking down on the pool. Yep, so there's, again, there's viewing behind a window, behind glass, looking onto the pool. And again, you get a great picture of just how beautiful it is. Huge deck space. A lot of the stuff that's on the deck will be gone. Some will still be there, but most of that will be gone. And again, so if people can't get into the stands there, again, they've got the upper lobby and the lower lobby where they can watch as well. But particularly exciting in the stands up here, while the actual seating space is roughly the same as what's at Burdick, they have this very large standing room area behind there that expands upon, adds to the seating space that's available. So, like I say, we're pretty excited about this. It's a nice big step up. In many ways, not to besmirch Burdick and not to whatever with Towson. But this is a really nice, it's just a really great facility. And actually, let me go back just a smidge here. Neil was talking briefly, I think. Neil, correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to have them after they finish their, and Neil, I'm not sure if you're on the web, but after they finish their events, they'll go out this door that's in the back here. You're outside for maybe 10, 15 feet. You'll go right down here and go into a hallway that leads you right back into the gyms. So it's not quite the big outside and convoluted space or path that you had to take before at Burdick here. It's still going outside for just a very, well, we're going to be able to cover it with 2 pop-up tents. Quite frankly, it's that small that you're in. You're outside and go right afterwards. Is that accurate, Neil?
Yes.
I have a quick question about seating for parents.
Okay.
We'll get to the questions once we're done the video. I'll go through all the counties and we'll answer all the questions.
Thank you.
Okay. Melissa, I'm going to go back. I'm going to give you control again in just a sec. Okay. It's back to you.
All right. So I know there have been some questions asked during the webinar. We're going to go county to county and answer any questions you may have come up with during the webinar that have not been answered. So please hold all questions until I have called your county. Allegheny. Okay.
I don't have any questions.
Thank you. Anne Arundel.
Hi. Will there be a special place for coaches to sit on deck?
We will have a coaches area on deck, yeah. And as in past years, we will have credentials for those coaches to have access to that area.
Okay. And Melissa, I noticed that there wasn't they said they're to be determined, the theme of the dance. Have they come up with one yet?
I don't know it also. I don't know it personally, but Mike said he thinks it's something with law enforcement or something on that end.
We'll clarify that when Melissa sends the slides out. We'll have that clarified for you. So look for that in the next day or two.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem. Baltimore City.
Hi. For the 10-meter assist, where the coaches are in the water with the swimmer, do you want them to accompany them through the staging or meet them on the deck?
They can accompany them through staging. That will be fine.
I mean, you know, whatever you want. Okay. Thank you.
Having them come through the staging with them is fine. That'll work.
Okay. Thank you.
Baltimore County.
Yeah, so let's see. Is it that the staging starts at 8 or the actual first event starts at 8?
The first event will start at 8.
So I'm just a little concerned about, like, if the buses are crowded, getting on the bus from 7:30 and having someone, like, there ready for staging go through that whole process by 8.
My suggestion would be if you know that your athletes are swimming in those first events of the day, and the first event of both Saturday and Sunday tend to be a little bit longer events by design, so there's a little bit of a cushion. But if you know you have an athlete in those events, I would make sure that he or she, that you get them on those first buses, so that there's not any risk of them missing.
Well, I mean, I'm probably going to try to get everyone on the early buses, but I'm sure everyone else is going to do that too, because like we'll probably all have to be going over together for the most part.
We're working on. I can't promise it at the moment. We're working on getting the buses backed up to 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So.
And will there be a coaches meeting before the event? I remember last year there was, like in the morning.
There will not be a coaches meeting beforehand.
Okay. Okay. And let's see. So the order of the events, I'm a little confused by, because each event has a number after it, but the numbers aren't in chronological order, like if you look at that slide that you showed. So are they going in the order that they are on the slide, or is it based on the little number 1, number 2 after the event title on that slide? Does that make sense?
Let me back up to that.
If you go back to the slide, I can kind of tell you what I mean. Okay, so like the first under Saturday, the first thing is number 1, and then you jump to number 7, and then number 2 is farther down on the list. So does it go number 1, number 2, number 3, or does it go number 1, number 7, number 12?
Neil, can you answer that?
I'm not looking at the web, so.
So it says Saturday number 1, 1500 free. Saturday number 7, 100 butterfly. She's just curious about the numbers.
The order.
Let me find that. Hold on.
Neil, wasn't that last year's event list?
I believe that was last year's order, but I want to confirm that before I say it.
Yeah.
Okay. So would they, I mean, I guess would they go in the chronological, based on the numbers that you have, not the way that they're shown here?
Give us 1 minute. Neil's taking a look
Okay.
at it. He wasn't on the webinar. He wasn't on the web version.
Okay.
Neil, I'm pretty sure that your assessment is right, that the number in the red was where it was last year, and
Okay.
the sequence is,
So just look at
you see it.
So ignore the numbers. That's just what it was last year. Look at the actual event.
What it's looking like on the slide. All right, that makes sense. Wait, sorry, I have a lot of questions. Okay. Do you know what time they'll be able to get into the dorms on Friday?
Mike, do you have a time?
I mean, check with your head of delegation, but they're going to get the keys on Thursday.
Okay.
You know, that doesn't mean you can check in on Thursday, but
no, I don't.
Your head of delegation, so in theory you can get in whenever you get there. Just coordinate with your head of delegation.
Okay. I think that's it. Thank you.
All right. Calvert County.
Hi, we have no questions.
Thank you. Carroll County?
Hi, we don't have any questions.
Thanks, Sue. Cecil?
Yes, hi, Cecil County. Earlier in the slides, I noticed some free area up in the upper deck for seating that looks like there's some bleachers below, but a flat area above. Can parents bring chairs to sit up there?
No, that is not for, we're not using that area.
Wait, are you talking about in the gym area or in the pool itself?
No, the second level above.
Of the gym?
There's a bleacher area and there's a flat area above that basically looks unused.
I understand but I'm asking, are you talking about in the pool, looking down on the
pool? No, above, second level, looking down on the pool.
Okay, look, that's what I'm saying. So you're looking down on the pool, you're not talking about the track around the gym. That's on a second level. No, that is for standing room. If we start having chairs put in there, it's going to make walking through there ultra challenging.
Okay, I like to have my parents in the bleachers, not in the gymnasium.
Understand, and we just need to all work together, given the space that's available.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
And we do ask, as in the past, that no one stands at the bottom of the bleachers in the seating, in the viewing area. No one can see if someone's standing up, so we ask that everyone is sitting. If they are going to stand, have them stand at the top behind the bleachers so that people can still see. Charles County.
Is Sean?
Yeah.
All right, Sean, I'll let you ask the questions.
I know when you guys sent out the printing, the bib list and all of that, it didn't go out till Friday when I don't have access to a printer. So I'm wondering how I'm supposed to get printed copy, because looking on my phone's a little difficult.
We'll get them out as soon as we can.
We also will provide hard copies for you when you check in.
Okay, because the last years I've been told there are no hard copies.
You talking about?
When I tried to request one.
You talking about the bib list or the heat list?
Either or. I got nothing other than maybe it listed my bibs, but didn't have the times or anything, divisions or anything. I only got an email copy of that, and I didn't have access to a printer by the time I got the email sent to me.
Okay. If you're online, Melissa, can you go ahead to the thing that has the sample? These aren't Aquatics. I think it's the next slide. These are samples from another. Keep going. Keep going.
Yep.
Keep going.
Yep.
Right. This. These were pulled from other events, and I do know that there was an error last year. We'll take care of that. But you'll get hard copies of this. There's two different versions. The one on the right lists by athlete, and then it has their events in order from their earliest event to their latest event with their start times. You'll get copies of that. I think we usually put 3 or 4 copies in. You'll also get the other version, which is to the left, which has for your delegation, your first racer straight through. It basically has your schedule for the games, again, with when they need to be. And then in addition, so you get 3 or 4 copies of that. Then in addition, for each of your athletes or competitors, because Unified Partners as well, you'll get a label that they can put on, like you see at the bottom there, that they can put on the back of their name badge that has all of their events, their division, and their start times. Again, that will be in order. That label was for a one-day event, so it doesn't have the days on it, but the actual label that you'll get will say Saturday or Sunday for all of their events. And I recognize there was an error last year with us having to change some of the schedule, and the batch that went out or was handed out was missing some information. We'll make sure that doesn't happen again.
Okay. That's the only question I have.
All right, thank you. Frederick County. Okay, Garrett County. Hartford.
No questions.
Thank you. Howard. Okay. Lower Shore.
Hi, Melissa. It's Brenna. I'm good.
Thank you. Montgomery.
Hi, Melissa. It's Margie Young. I've got a few.
Okay.
One is last we had an athlete who's deaf and tried to use the sign to say she had to go to the bathroom, and no volunteer was able to understand the universal sign, I have to pee, and she peed herself, and then we had to come. We tried to get them to go to the bathroom, but the pre-staging and then the staging and then the staging on the pool and then finally getting into the pool, they're sitting in a chair for close to 45 minutes. And if they didn't have to go to the bathroom and then they do have to go to the bathroom, I just want somebody to, kind of go over just at least one sign language of how to go to the toilet.
Margie?
And if you don't know it, I will teach it to you, and then you can teach them.
Margie, would it help to have a couple of the board maker toilet pictures available?
She's very, she's very shy, and she just kept shaking her fist with the T, the sign T, because that's the toilet.
Right.
And
no, I understand.
Nobody knew what the heck she was. I think they thought she was flapping or something, and just, or else they just didn't pay attention, and then they come over, run over, and tell Charmin, you got an athlete who peed herself. Can you come over here and, take care of this? And, her mom signed for her, and she said, I kept asking, can I go to the bathroom, but nobody wanted, no one said I could. So, she just didn't, and then she couldn't hold it anymore. So I just want the athletes, the volunteers, although they, some of them don't have any training working with special needs kids, and I appreciate that they're there to volunteer, but, it was just very frustrating for us.
No, I
don't
completely understand.
Yeah, I don't expect her, you guys to have somebody who can sign all the time, but her mom, was right there willing, and, anyway, so I just want you to just learn one sign. You don't have to learn anything else, just how they need to go to the bathroom. And that's it. That was one question. The next one is, can I use a wagon to pull stuff across the floor, or do you think that'll make marks?
If it has rubber wheels, it's not going to be a problem.
Okay. And then, Neil, did you say that the heat sheets are going to be in the packets and you're not going to put them online?
They will be emailed and in the packet.
Okay. All right. And then I have a couple of other things. My light went up. Okay. Cards for relays. When you're going to be, do we have to do those on Saturday morning?
I most likely, yes. I'll work with Neil, see if we can get them sent out earlier so you can have them done ahead of time.
Okay.
But it's a very good possibility that they will have to get done Saturday morning.
Okay. And then the last couple of years, they have asked us to put tattoos or,
marking the athletes. Yes.
And are we going to still do that?
Yes, we are going to. We would like the athletes to be marked.
Okay, and that was on the back left? Or it didn't make any difference?
It's on their arm.
It's on
their arm.
Yep.
I think there were some of them that the kids didn't like being wrote on their arm, but I found something to take care of that. So, okay, I think that was it. The heat sheets, the tattoos, wagon, the cards for relays, and the deaf. That was it.
Okay, this is Jean
Thanks,
from
Margie.
Montgomery. I have two quick questions.
Okay.
Before you send out the webinar, can you change the slide that has the event numbers so that the event numbers go 1 to 24 and they're not skipping?
The numbers are from last year's order.
Right. So are you going to put, are you going to can you renumber that slide so that it's this year's order begins with number 1 and goes straight through?
The event, if you look at the actual event, that order that they're in on that slide is the correct order. So the numbers are just from last year, but the order that they're in is correct.
Okay.
So it's a point of reference for comparison from where things were last year.
Right, because I had parents looking at, showing parents, and I said, I know this is the number from last year, but I was just wondering if that was going to become, if it would be chronological, and that's not as big of a deal. Will we get a list of the events, start to finish, that includes everybody, not just our delegation?
You're talking about the heat sheets, right?
Yes.
Yes, Melissa said earlier that'll be included for you.
Okay, great. Thanks. That's it.
I do have one more. I just would like to, we have 54 athletes, so I would like to have at least 108 chairs so that we can have them for our athletes and at least one parent. I thought I'd throw in my chair order.
We are not taking
Well, we're not
orders.
going to separate them for you.
We are not taking.
Well, I don't ask them. I heard you say you were only going to get a couple of hundred, and I was like.
I had amended that and said several hundred. We'll.
Oh, okay, several hundred. Okay, thank you.
Prince George's County. Any questions? Okay, Upper Shore?
This is Jack. I will be sure to attend the June 4th thing, just like I did at previous years, just to make sure that I understand where everybody's going. Could we come up separately from the group that trains down in Easton?
What do you mean come up separately?
We have our own bus from Kent Center,
Mm-hmm.
and we come up. I don't know how. I think Myrick arranges for a bus to pick up the people that train at Easton, and we and a lot of them stay overnight. But our people, we all drive up. We have a bus, and we drive up ourselves because we bring. We have to bring, what do you call it, counselors with them, CAs with them, to a certain number of them just to be with them.
I mean, yeah, they're to bring them to summer games, you mean? Like to the actual event?
Jack, are you talking about the 4th or the 11th?
I'm talking about the one where it kind of, we're going to get briefed on what is where and everything.
That's on the 4th. That's only for you.
Yeah, the 4th. So that's what I'm saying. I'll come up. I'll come up for that so that I can tell our people where to park and all that good stuff, which is what happened before. When I came up, we walked it all out, and I was able to tell our people exactly where to go and what to do.
Right. That's going to be the same way for this year.
Yeah, because we won't know until we get inside with the Myricks anything else going on up there.
And Jack, we're online as well.
Pardon?
This is Jim Myrick. We're online as well.
Okay. You understand what I'm saying, Jim? We have the buses that the center provides to transport our people. Okay, and we're going to leave at 5:30 with the idea of getting up there about 7.
If I can, Jack, for the.
So we'll just meet you there, but I'm going to go up on the 4th just to make sure that I know where they want us to park and where everybody walks and all that good stuff.
Jack, if you could, for the good of all the rest of the folks here, if you and Jim want to chat after we get through all the questions, we can leave the line open. But do you have any questions for folks, so we're not keeping everybody else on the line?
Okay.
Do you have any questions? Actual questions?
Well, other than that, I'm fine. I mean, yeah, we've been through this before, so I just have to figure out what's going on.
Okay. Thank you. And again, we'll leave the line open if you and Jim need to talk.
Well, I can send him an email. We can converse downstream here.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, St. Mary's County. Okay, and Washington County. All right, well, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. If you have any additional questions.
I have one. This is Baltimore City. I have one question, please. I'm sorry. Okay. Instead of having the coaches meeting on Saturday morning, did I see something that said there was going to be a meeting Friday evening at 6 p.m.?
That was a listing of all the different coaches' meetings. I don't know that Aquatics is actually having one. Neil, are you having one on Friday night?
We're not having a coaches meeting, no.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Melissa, this is Crystal from Garrett County.
Hi, Crystal.
And I just want to check to see if it would be all right for my assistant coach to be with our visual impaired individual all the way through staging?
Well, let's talk offline about that, Crystal. I'll reach out to you tomorrow morning.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, thanks, Crystal.
All right, thanks.
Steve Doherty, Cecil County.
Hi, Steve.
We mentioned earlier about the possibility of perhaps seeing the venue on a Friday afternoon. I plan on taking off work Friday and coming down. Would it be possible for me to go to Loyola and just see the venue? I don't necessarily need anybody there to explain to me, but I would like to see it beforehand.
Yeah, I'll be there setting up. Let me just get the times when everything's going to be delivered, and I'll be there, and I'll let you know. Just in case you have extra questions, I can be there to answer them.
That's good.
And Steve, for everyone else who's on the call as well, we need to limit Friday because Loyola has camps going on as well, and we don't want to be interfering with that. So one person or two people is not a big deal, but having a wholesale huge group come over on Friday could become problematic. So that's why there's some hesitancy of opening it up and wanting to talk offline.
Thank you.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. If you have any questions or think of anything after this webinar is over, please reach out to your regional sports director or regional coordinator, and they will be able to answer it. You can also reach out to me as well, and we'll make sure we get you an answer. Thank you all again, and have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.